So, have you ever lost money to any kind of investment scheme? It could be crowdfunding, it could be a business that you started yourself, it could be maybe you started a business with someone and it didn't go as planned. Have you ever lost money to any form of business or investment? And perhaps you lost money to MMM. It's all a learning process. So, it's all a learning process. So because you lost money to an investment scheme, you planned, you tried, you did your research, and for whatever reason, the investment did not turn out as you planned. It's not that you are an idiot. It's not that you didn't know what you were doing. And you could even be a Christian and say, oh, when I went into this investment, I prayed and I heard God telling me to go into this investment. Because that investment failed does not mean that you did not hear God. It's all part of the learning process. So does losing money to any form of investment make you an idiot? No, it doesn't. It's all part of critical life lessons that every investor, that every entrepreneur, that everyone who wants to get wealthy or rich, that everyone who wants to get to the top of their career or to the top of the wealth ladder. It's a critical lesson that everyone who wants to be wealthy must learn. And this lesson is that not all your investment will turn out as planned. Some will do well and some will not do well. That is just the fact. That is the reality of life. So, have you ever had any form of investment that went down the drain and you're busy hitting yourself, you're pinching yourself, you're slapping yourself over and over again? Perhaps, you've lost that investment. It could even be a month ago, a year ago, and you are still so angry at yourself. Say, why did I do this? I should have known better. I should have researched better. Then this video is for you. So in this video, you will learn that losing your money in an investment is not all that bad. You will also learn some critical steps that you can take to avoid you losing your money in the future. So if this is the kind of content that you love to listen to and you want to hear more, please endeavor to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any other video from me. So this teaches a critical life lesson that not all plans go well. And yes, that's the truth. Not all plans go well. Not all plans will be as you have planned it at the end of the day. Right, so not all investments are going to go as planned. Even the Bible talks about it in the book of Ecclesiastes, that when you go out in the morning, make sure you are sowing your seed. When you're coming back in the evening, make sure you're sowing. So you're going out morning, afternoon, and night. You are sowing, you are sowing, you are sowing. And why? Because you don't know which one will be fruitful. And that teaches a very, very valuable lesson about life, that you can decide to sow probably into 10 different investment plan or investment scheme, and probably 6 or 7 of it might actually yield result. Some of it will always go down the drain, and that is the reality of life. Even the Bible says so. When you sow in the morning, sow in the afternoon, and sow in the night, because you don't know which one will be profitable, and you don't also know whether all of them are also going to be profitable. So that's it. It's a probability that if you sow, if you invest into 3 different schemes, if you invest here and here and here, there's a probability that the 3 of them will go as you've planned and you are going to get profits, definitely. And there's also a probability that the 3 might not even do well, and there's another chance that maybe 1 or 2 out of the 3 will actually do well. It is the fact of life, and it's there in God's word that when you are sowing, make sure you are sowing in the morning, you are sowing in the afternoon, you are sowing in the evening. Why? Because you don't know which one will be fruitful. You don't know which one will be profitable at the end of the day. So you losing an investment, you losing your money to one scheme or the other does not make you an idiot. It does not make you a fool, and it doesn't mean that you have not even heard God in the first place. There is a story about Albert Einstein. Yes, I think Albert Einstein, I think that's the name. And in that story, we heard that before he could make the light bulb, what happened? He had to try maybe 100 times or 99 times. I don't know how many times he had to try. And that's one thing, that's one fact about life, that for you to achieve anything meaningful, you need to do a lot of trial and error. So trial and error is not bad in the real sense of it, because when you trial something and it doesn't work, you have learned how things doesn't work. And when you try and try and try and finally you get it right and it works, you have also learned an invaluable lesson of how to make it work. So because you tried an investment and it did not work does not mean that you are a bad person, or does not mean that you are an idiot or you are a fool. It just means that you have learned a critical lesson. It means you have learned a lesson. And by the time you try again and it works, then you will know which one works and which one doesn't work. So that's just how it is. The unfortunate thing is that when we were in school, no one taught us about investment. And even if anyone taught you about investment, there is no investment that is 100% accurate. There is no plan that is 100% accurate. I work, as a planner, and that's my profession. So I work as a planner. So I make forecasts. So I try to say, okay, these and that product is what people are going to buy. So I try to make forecasts and say this product, people will buy this quantity of this product in the next 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. But people's preference change. People can decide not to buy. It's just a forecast, and it's usually very, very inaccurate. So that's just the thing about life. Forecast is a forecast. The plan is a plan. It may go well, and at the end of the day, it may not also go well. So you need to learn this fact about life. So perhaps you have invested somewhere in the past and you've lost your money and you decided, never in my life, I will never invest again. Then you are making a very big mistake, because there's no wealthy person, there is no billionaire or millionaire who has ever made it in life and that has not lost money in one time or the other. So just take your loss as a learning process and move on. Take your lessons from there and move on. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 2 investment schemes that I had participated in and that I had lost money. I'll just share with you 2 of them. I have lost money in quite, a few schemes in the past, but I'm just going to be sharing with you 2 of them that were very, very popular in Nigeria. Number 1, Farm Connect. Yes, Farm Connect, the popular Farm Connect. Quite a lot of times we are always looking for how best to use our money. We are looking for the best way, the best method, and definitely the best ROI, the best rate of return, or the best interest rate for our money. Who doesn't like a very good interest rate, in the first place? Okay. If someone says, bring your money, I'm going to give you 50% interest, okay, in 3 months, and somebody else comes and say, I'm going to give you 10% in 3 months, who are you going to go for? Tell me in the comment section. Who are you going to go for? You are definitely most likely going to go for the 50%, because everyone wants their money to bring more money. They want better interest. They want better rates. And that's where I felt that I got it wrong in this place. So while I was looking for different schemes to invest in, I had a couple of money, lying around, and I said, okay, instead of keeping this money in the bank, why don't I just look for a firm or a business who needs this money and let me invest? And then I did quite a lot of search online, and then I came across Farm Connect. Farm Connect promised that they had a farm and they were looking for investors with money who could invest maybe 500,000 naira, 1 million naira, 2 million naira, and so on, and so on and so forth. So they were looking for investors who would put money down for them to use to increase their production, increase their capacity, increase their farm, increase their input, and so on. And I invested. I think then I invested close to I think I invested 1.5 million naira. Okay. And I think my wife invested probably another 1 million naira, in that same scheme. So in total, both of us invested 2.5 million naira in that scheme. In the first month, second month, everything was going as planned. I think the scheme was meant to be for 3 months. And in the first 1 month, everything was going as planned. We're getting updates, and so on. And then when it was time for us to get our money, we started hearing stories. Unfortunately, it was the time probably of, I think it was COVID. There was quite a lot of force majeure. The company came and apologized and said, oh, sorry, we're meant to send you your money, but for whatever reason, we have not been able to. Give us 1 month, give us 2 months, give us 3 months. And 1 month, 2 months, 3 months now has turned to maybe 5-6 years. Till now, I have not seen my money. You send emails, no one is willing to answer the email because the company has gone underground. And quite a few of us, we came together saying we have to get back our money. and we involved a lawyer. We wrote to, I think, FCPC, Consumer Protection Agency, in Nigeria, and it was quite a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We never had anything of it at the end of the day. That was Farm Connect. Number 2, Goat Meat HQ. Goat Meat HQ was also very popular in Nigeria, back then. They said they had goats and they had a farmland. And probably because for me, I'm a farmer also. So I love anything that has to do with farming, and so on. So Goat Meat HQ came and said they have a goat farm and they're looking for investors. The same story. The first few months, they were giving updates. And then when it was time for us to get our money, it was stories after stories after stories. The man who owned Goat Meat HQ was arrested. He was charged to court. And I think at the end of the day, he was released, until now, we still don't have our money. So that's Farm Connect, and that's also Goat Meat HQ. In both investment, I think I lost close to 5 million naira in total. Yes, 5 million naira. And at first, when that thing happened, I asked myself, why? What happened? Did I not plan well? Did I not check well? But at the end of the day, I found out that I have learned my lesson. And the funny thing is that since that time, I have not lost any money in any investment. Why? Because I learned my lesson. So perhaps you also learned your lesson. It's for you to take what lessons are you learning in this process, in this stage, and take your lessons and move on from there. So losing money to an investment scheme does not mean you are an idiot. Doesn't mean that you are a fool. I'm also going to share with you some businesses I've started in the past that have also gone down the drain. Number 1, coconut business. While I was in Nigeria, I had a friend who brings in coconuts from, I think, Benin Republic, from Badagry, Benin Republic, area. They brought in truckloads of coconut every single day. And coconut was a big business back then because quite a lot of people who do coconut oil, cold pressed coconut oil, and so on, were using this coconut a lot for their manufacturing process. So I decided, okay, let me also get some coconut. And then I bought some coconut. I can't remember. I think it was half. Oh, I think it was a quarter of a trailer. And it was brought to my house. Was it quarter of a trailer? Yeah, I think it was a quarter of a trailer. And it was brought to my house. And I had to dedicate one full room. And I stacked coconut upon coconut upon coconut in the room. So I remember then I had, we had a 3-bed house. And one of the room, anytime you enter there, it was filled with coconut. That was how it was. The good thing is, was that there was demand for the coconut. Okay, people were coming, they were buying, but I made another big mistake. I was selling to some people on credit. Yes, I sold to some people on credit. And I'm not this person who loves to chase people for money. Where is my money? Where is my money? Where is my money? So about 4 or 5 people, bought on credit. Some were really, really aged women, young women, aged women, and for me, I looked at myself and asked myself, will I keep asking these women, okay, who are like elderly, really, really elderly, my money every now and then? And I decided to write off the debt. I think the coconut was worth probably about maybe 500,000 naira thereabout, back then. And I decided, what's 500,000 naira? Let me just, leave that aside. And that is how I stopped the coconut business, because I cannot keep asking people for money. I sold on credit, but at the end of the day, I lost the money at the end of the day. So what have I learned in this process? Never sell on credit to people who do not have a pedigree, to people who you do not trust. Never sell on credit. Another business that I did while I was a bit younger was to open a grocery store. Yes, I actually opened a grocery store whereby there were quite a lot of grocery. For those who are familiar with Isolo, it was in Isolo Market itself. So I opened a grocery store there and I stocked it with so many groceries. I got a very young lady who just finished from secondary school to stay there and monitor the store for me. And every time I go to the store, there was sales in the first 1 month, 2 months, and so on. And after a while, stories began to happen. I get to the store, I see things are missing, I ask for the money, it's nowhere to be found. I get to the store, to store another day, things are missing, nothing, stories upon stories. And at the end of the day too, she ended up also selling some of the products on credit to people in the market. And that's how the store also went down the drain. What lesson have I learned here? Is that I would never have a store again unless I am there to manage it myself. That is the bitter lesson I learned. Unless I'm available right there on ground to manage my shop or my store, I wouldn't manage a store. I wouldn't put someone in the store to manage for me anymore. That is the bitter lesson that I learned. So the coconut business crashed. The grocery store business also crashed. These businesses were done with the best of the intentions. These businesses were done with best of intentions, but just like life and just like it is, things may not go as planned, no matter how frugal you are, no matter how intelligent you are. You can only try your best and hope for the best. So every financial loss is a learning, and no one knows the future. You could make financial projections and things will just happen. COVID can happen, tsunami could happen, tornado could happen, your business can go down the drain anytime T. So the best plans are still not perfect. So there is no perfect plan. You need to learn that. And when you lose an investment, know that it's just a learning for the next process, for the next step. So learn your lesson and move on. And when it comes to crowdfunding is a very unregulated terrain in Nigeria. Anybody can just wake up today and say, I'm having this business, please invest in my business. And then they open a very fanciful website, very colorful and beautiful, and then they invite people to invest. Okay, and they offer you some very, very mouth-watering rates of return, some interest rates at the end of probably 3 months or 6 months. And then this attracts us. It attracts you. It attracts me also. So crowdfunding is not regulated. So when you are going to do business in an unregulated terrain like crowdfunding, you need to be very careful. You need to be sure that you know what you're doing. If possible, you need to know the person involved. You need to visit the farm. And there are sharks and whales that are waiting and watching to eat the shrimp. Yes, so because your investment is small, there are big sharks who are there waiting for you, waiting to eat you up. So you need to be very, very careful in an unregulated terrain. So what are the lessons that I have learned? Number one, to always research more. Do proper research about the business. If possible, go there on site to see what is done. Like, for example, someone says he has a farm. Why don't I go to the farm and see what's happening on the farm first? Okay? Does he really need this money? Or does he just want to skim people off their hard-earned money? So doing proper research, going there for the visit itself, I think might have helped me in mitigating the losses that I had at the end of the day. Number two, is to also check the track record of the people who run the business. What is their track record? Do you know them? Okay, have they delivered? For how long have they delivered? Have they delivered in the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Yeah, things could go south once in a while, but have these people, have they delivered in the past? Do they have a track record? This will also help you to know whether to go ahead with the investment or not. Number three, make sure that you are not swayed by the super high rate of return or interest rate. Okay, make sure that you are not swayed by the rate of return at the end of the day. They could say 30, 40, 50, 60, or even 100, but please be very, very careful. Be very careful when you're beginning to see something that doesn't make sense. Number four, ask. Yes, always ask questions. Ask, never stop asking. Ask questions. By the time you're asking questions and they're not willing to provide answers, then know that there is something wrong with this business and there is a high chance that they are hiding something from you. So ask and be very sure before you go in. Number five, don't FOMO. Don't say, oh, because people are doing this, then I have to do it. FOMO means fear of missing out. Oh, I don't want to miss out. Oh, this is a high rate of return. I don't want to miss out. Ensure that you don't FOMO, because when you FOMO in, what happens is that there's a high chance that you are going to lose that money at the end of the day. So don't FOMO. Don't have a fear of missing out. One other thing I've also learned is that I need to diversify my portfolio. Okay, so instead of investing, all my capital in one scheme, why don't I invest it in probably 4 or 5 schemes instead? Okay, just like the Bible said in that place that I mentioned too before in the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay, that sow here and here and here, so that I don't put my eggs in one basket. So it's better I put. If I have £1 million, I put maybe 200,000 in 5 different places than putting the 1 million in one place, okay? Because in case one doesn't work, at least the second or third or fourth or fifth one will work, and I'm still going to make profit at the end of the day. So that's what to do when you are investing in a risky business. Make sure you are diversifying your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't invest everything in one place. So hi and welcome back. I hope you've learned one or two things from this video. So knowing these things will help you make better financial decisions in the future and reduce the number of times you lose your money to any form of investment, or scheme. If this video has been helpful, please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I release my next video. Thank you and see you next time. God bless you. Bye.